What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the What the Fun Show. Hey, it's been a long time, and thank you so much for your patience, but today we continue our review of the Obi-Wan Kenobi series on Disney+, which is airing every single Wednesday until, as of this recording, next week. Next week is the season finale. My name is Mike, and I am with my co-host, Jelly. How you doing today, Joe?
What's up, everyone? I'm doing good today. I'm doing good. I'm a little thrown off by the Wednesday Star Wars release when that was supposed to be Marvel release day, but it's all good. We're still getting it done, and I'm excited to talk about 3 episodes today, and they are banger episodes. Like, all of them have so much going on.
Yeah. Just, super excited to talk about episode 3, 4, and 5. So, once again, very sorry. We were planning on getting a review of episode 3 and 4 out, but just complete scheduling conflicts, just a lot of issues with us and, the start of summer and everything. So it just really didn't work out, unfortunately. And so we're finally getting to the point where me and Joe are able to sit down here and talk about 3 episodes for you guys. And then next week, me, Joe, and Justin will be back, all 3 of us, to deep dive into the finale and what we thought of the series overall. Before we get into that, though, yes, very excited for it. But before we get into that, let's do a little bit of housekeeping. Test Your Might. If you're hearing my voice right now, Test Your Might is taking a hiatus for 1 week due to Father's Day. We always take off because Mother's Day is on a Sunday, so that's when we record. We always take off for those 2 weeks, so we will not be around. Maybe, just maybe, if we can get like a small news update or something like that, we'll get that out, but that's just a huge maybe. We'll let you know if we can. Just make sure that you're following us on our socials at What the Fun Pod on Facebook as well as Twitter, and we'll hit you guys up with all the updates needed. If you're listening to us right now on a podcast app of choice, please go ahead and leave a review, especially if you're listening to us on Apple iTunes. Man, that is really where I can't say all, but most of our listens are coming from. So if you're listening to my voice right now and you have not left us a review, please do so. It would really greatly help us out. At least leave a rating so that we can get, into all the algorithms and stuff like that. Again, we would really appreciate it. If you're watching us on YouTube, please like, comment, and subscribe. Just let us know how we're doing. Most importantly, hit that subscribe button. We're on the road to 100 subscribers. Again, we just want to get to the 100 subscribers so that we could get a custom link. That's really all we want. We're not trying to be YouTubers. We're trying to be podcasters, but we also offer you the video version if you would like to see our pretty ugly faces.
There we go. That's better.
Yeah. All right. Hey, that's what we got. If you have not heard our Obi-Wan episode 1 and 2 review, go ahead and check that out. I'll have that linked down below in the description. And then, Joe, I got to remind you, because you're our editor, there's cards in the YouTube stuff. So add a card here.
Never heard of them. What is that?
Right. Well, I'll teach you how to do it.
Pick a card?
Yeah,
Any card?
There'll be a card up here so that it'll link you to the other stuff. And then also, we're going to be making a playlist because we are, after the Obi-Wan series is coming out, we're going to be making a playlist on YouTube, our YouTube channel, with just Star Wars. So all of our Star Wars will be in one playlist, and there's going to be some YouTube exclusive stuff on there, like tier lists and stuff like that. So make sure you stay tuned for all that. Okay, we are not going to do a spoiler-free review, so for Obi-Wan episode 3, 4, and 5, here is your official spoiler warning. Hey, you.
What's that? What the?
What are you doing?
Who, me?
Do you want to be spoiled? No? Well then,
Stop it. Get some help.
so you don't feel like this guy. Instead, let it be a surprise.
Oh, I like surprises.
So go watch the thing before you move on in the podcast, okay?
Alrighty then.
Let's get into it, Joe. Episode 3, again, just called Part 3. Okay, so
It's the best name. Why would you name it anything else in Star Wars universe?
Anyway, it starts off with none other than pretty much Vader. We see kind of Obi-Wan, if I'm remembering correctly. It's been a while since I watched it, actually. We're recording this way in the future. Yeah, if I remember correctly, we start off with Obi-Wan just sitting, trying to meditate, trying to contact Qui-Gon, and then it kind of like cuts to Vader.
Failing epically at it.
Yeah. So kind of cuts to Vader in his fortress on Mustafar, and he instructs Reva to find Kenobi, promising to promote her to Grand Inquisitor if she succeeds. So
that's right,
Reva,
because she tummy poked the old one.
Yeah, she tummy poked the old one at the end of episode 2, part 2. Yeah, part 2.
Part 2.
And obviously, tummy pokers do not survive, so she's going to be the Grand Inquisitor. Okay.
You're good.
Anyway, so she's going to be the Grand Inquisitor if she catches Kenobi. And so Kenobi and Leia's transport land on a mining planet called Mapuzo. And they proceed to rendezvous with the basically like the one of the leaders of what they call the Path, right, Joe? So call the Path, which is like kind of this like
it's an underground railroad.
That's what I was going to say. It's almost this like reverence. Yeah, it's almost this like reverence and like type of homage to the Underground Railroad, really. And yeah, what did you think of just like the transition from this transport ship all the way to Mapuzo, this mining planet?
It was fine, right? I mean, so here's like the lull of the episode where we're going off world. Is that how it kind of works?
Yeah,
going off world to a new world, and we get a little bit more of like interaction between Obi-Wan and Leia.
Yeah,
right. This is before,
some really good, some quality stuff. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So I'm trying to make sure I'm not getting out of order.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've got like good relationship building between Obi-Wan Kenobi and Leia, which was needed after the last episode, which was on the one with Haja, and she loses faith and then has to like find her trust in him. There's bonding and like growing and relationship building as they travel on the transport ship, and then they end up on what is it, Mapuzo? Mapuzo. Yeah, sure. Mapuzo. Yes. And this is like the planet that is your backyard, right? Everyone listening right now has experienced this planet because it's just that place down the freeway from them, or right outside of town, or if you live in a city, it's like that area where they have the dump where they take all of your trash, and it kind of reminds you of that. You're like, oh, this is in a galaxy really, really near, not very far away. Which
that's
was
the
fun.
thing. Like, and you guys listening, you may already know my feelings, but like, we literally started episode 1 on Tatooine. Episode 2, we got away from the desert. Episode 3, we go back to a desert. Like,
there was plant life there, right? I mean, it was desolate for sure.
There's plant life in real deserts, not just Star Wars deserts. But I mean, still, it's just like, oh man, like it wasn't. The episode 3 was probably my least favorite episode of all of them so far, because
okay,
yeah, because of the setting, really, like
just pulled you out.
Yeah, I mean, not necessarily pulled me out, but like, I don't know, like we'll get to it, but aside from like the last 15 minutes. Like this episode was just like it was the filler episode, really, because I think 4 and 5 were
it was all story, man. It was all relationship building, and I'm about those, and most people hate it.
Yeah, I mean, no, it's not that I didn't hate it. I just think that like, going from a very vibrant city and just like this like pretty vibrant coloring and just a cool setting from episode 2, part 2. Like it felt like we're taking a step back. I know there were some story beats here, so let's talk about it. Like, one of my favorite scenes in all of this series is when Obi-Wan is talking to Leia, and Leia asks him, "Are you my father?" Because she knows that the Organa family are not her real parents. Obviously, it's and that scene just like that it really hit the heartstrings a little bit, because I saw some things on the internet. It's just like, because like Obi-Wan's response was like, what did he say? He says, "Oh, I wish I was," and like some people were like, "Oh, he was like in love with Padme," and like, what? Like, where are you even
No.
You don't know how to interpret things, because obviously he's just like, "I wish that your father wasn't a Sith Lord." That's basically what he's saying.
Like recently killed a bunch of young children who are your age.
Yeah, exactly.
Imagine that. Your dad's a bad person. I wish I was your dad instead, because the idea of ever having you find out that your dad is Vader, yeah, that's bad. I don't want to deliver that news. I don't want you to have to know that that's a thing. I would much rather be that guy.
Yeah, right.
But I'm not.
But I'm not. And so that was just
he loved Padme. Believe the internet. You heard it here first.
No. I'm sure he loved Padme in a friendly sort of way.
Naturally.
But yeah, no. Internet, stop it. Just leave my Star Wars alone. All right.
Hey, if
so
they
anyway,
can find something to hate or manufacture it, they will.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So let's kind of catch up a little bit, because I know I went a little bit farther with that scene specifically, but they at the rendezvous point, they found no one there, so they actually take a ride on an Imperial transport, and that's where that scene happens. They are discovered, and Imperial troops are sent to capture them. But they receive help from a female Imperial officer, Tala, who is a member of the Path, which is, again, this underground network that hides dissidents and outlaws hunted by the Empire. So Tala was the one that they were supposed to rendezvous with, but she got caught.
Yeah, held up a little bit.
Yeah, a little held up. She's undercover in the Empire, and I thought this was a really good story beat, like just having somebody undercover working for the Empire.
I agree. I think it was a great thing to include. I think the way they inserted it was a bit weird. And not so much as, the part right before that. And those of you listening, obviously you've watched the episode, because why would you be listening if you hadn't seen it? So about the weird thing, I don't remember the guy who drove the vehicle, his name, but he's like the super relatable bus driver who you want to talk to and like have a good relationship with, except for he's a little bit too sensitive to the Imperialists and the Empire. So
that's not Seth Rogen, by the way.
Not yes, which is why he's the super relatable, friendly guy that you want to be friends with. Yeah. But he just happens to be a bad guy. Not saying Seth Rogen, you're probably a great guy. I don't know you, but hey. You played kind of a bad guy. So that whole scene beforehand, and that's why she got held up, right? They needed that story. They needed was all good until the weird fence thing. And then
I even pointed this out to our group chat, and I know Justin's gonna be listening, and it was just really funny. Like, Justin was trying to justify. I'm like, no, rewatch it. Them can go around that fence.
Easily go around the fence. Super simple. All you gotta do is walk 12 steps to the left or to the right, because it only goes so far, and then you have like a semi steep sandy hill, like we're talking like an 11% grade here.
Yeah, shout out to Justin, because he did rewatch that scene, and he did text back to us, and he was like, yeah, you totally could have gone around that
You
fence.
could have stepped over the fence. It wasn't a tall fence. You could have hurdled it, jumped it.
Probably hurdled it. Yeah, but that's
the fence.
One. Yeah, they do get through the fence. But Joe, as I was saying, that was one of the instances where it kind of brought, like, the setting itself brought me out of the episode. And I'm sure you could relate just slightly.
A lot.
So anyway, Tala, she escorts them to a secret subterranean passageway, but before they leave, Vader and the Inquisitors arrive and begin to harm innocent bystanders to lure Kenobi out.
Yo, that was wild.
This
Can we talk about that scene? Holy.
Let's talk about it. This scene was absolutely brutal. And obviously we're obviously going to give credit where credit is due, and the fact that James Earl Jones has done Vader since A New Hope just perfectly.
Killing it.
I mean, he just kills it. Even in his older age, he's just like he has not missed a beat with Vader specifically. But I really do like that is Hayden Christensen under that costume.
Maybe.
And I think I think it is. I'm pretty sure. Maybe I could be told otherwise, but I gotta be honest. Just the way that he is portraying Vader's body language and the way that he moves through the scene, like I think it's powerful. I think he's doing a very good job.
Just commands respect, power. It shows you. He's not holding anything back. You understand kind of the evil, I think is the right word, but like the hatred, the evil, the darkness of the person he has become since he has accepted that he is Vader. Because I think when we're in Revenge of the Sith, yes, it's the making of Vader and who he will be. And now in this series, we kind of get that full-fledged, like Vader at the height of his power and the height of his, evil, darkness, hatred. And he gives zero anything about anybody. He pulls that lady out of her house, snaps the poor kid's neck while his dad's sitting there checking on him, like doesn't care. These are ants to him, and he will smash them because they mean nothing. And it showed that really well. I mean, you that's all you get from that is he doesn't care about the lives of any of these people. They are literally meaningless to him, and he will dispatch them for fun because he can, because I'm going to scare you because it's fun for me.
Yeah. And it, again, just completely brutal. Like you see the evil in his body language, in his actions, obviously. And so I just really think Hayden Christensen is doing a really good job underneath that costume. Just kind of portraying the evil that Vader really needs. And like you're right, Joe. This and kind of the moments that he was in Rogue One, like those two just like are kind of solidified the true villainy that this man has, and that's why
I feel like
that's why he's one of the greatest
throwback.
Yeah, I mean,
like
that's
to
why
that
this
Rogue One hallway scene.
Yeah. I mean,
because he has that same effect down the street.
Yeah, it's just kind of a good kind of parallel to that scene.
Yes.
And I mean, this is why Vader is one of the best villains in all of fiction. Like he's just brutal. Just awesome. So anyway, Vader and the Inquisitors are there. Kenobi sends Leia and Tala ahead while he provides a distraction, and he is eventually confronted by Vader. Now, here is where my biggest problem was with this episode. I'm not talking about the interactions between Kenobi and Vader. All of those were perfect. All of those were awesome. I loved the darkness to the scene, and then basically the only light you have is the lightsabers.
Yeah.
But man, if they didn't shoot that scene in my backyard, like if I didn't allow the set, I have a pile of rocks in my backyard right now that they could go refilm that scene and it'd be a 1-to-1 replica. Like the setting was just like, to me, like, why are we just around a bunch of rocks? I understand it's a mining planet. I totally get that. But like it was just like, this ain't Star Wars.
Mine's something
This is
cool.
a quarry.
Mine's something that
this
glows.
is a quarry.
Mine's something that looks neat in the background so that it can be from a different planet.
Yeah.
Mine's something that looks like tritium or whatever it was called.
I don't know. That's the only thing that kind of like took me out of the scene. Otherwise, Joe, like Vader is, once again, he's brutal. Like I just love him smashing his lightsaber onto Ben's lightsaber while he's blocking, and like Ben can't really hold his own. Vader,
He's out of practice a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. What did you think about this scene?
I really enjoyed it, and I know that we've had our back and forth in our group chats about it. But I really thought it was well done. I didn't get pulled out of it quite the same way that you did. Like I was cool with the setting. I really enjoyed how they introduced him because it was horror movie-esque, right? They give him the solo antagonist and protagonist kind of cut scenes back and forth, and Ben's running away and like looking around and where is he? Where's he going to come from? But you have the talking over the top of it the whole time where they're communicating and the cat and mouse chase. So I thought that was really well done. I loved that the light given off, the only light in the scene really was the lightsabers and then the fire.
That was awesome.
I think that was done beautifully. I think that was a genius idea. So whoever idea it was to film it like that, kudos, hats off to you. Brilliantly done, brilliantly executed. And I think it came off exactly how they wanted to, which was this balance thing, this red and blue, this good, evil. And like you said, like he was not up for that battle, right? Obi-Wan could not hold his own there. He is out of practice. He's out of touch with the Force completely almost. And it showed, and Vader felt it. Vader knew as well. So not only was Ben there like struggling, but Vader could feel him struggling and saw him struggling. He says so. He calls him out. He's weak. He's grown weak in his old age. He's not the man that he was, and Vader's going to win. And that's what he said. And that's almost what happened.
Yeah, almost.
It was definitely on the way.
Yeah, he's holding Ben Kenobi above this fire basically that was started.
Oh, force choking him above the fire?
Yeah.
No
and then
big deal. Because it's
force chokes him and then brings him into the fire. And then eventually Tala actually left Leia and was like, I'm going to trust this 10-year-old girl just to get to the rendezvous point.
Yeah, that was a bit of a thing that we talked about too.
Yeah, like
you're just going to take the word of this 10-year-old?
No offense, but you're going to
Obi-Wan needs your help. Go help him.
And whatever, I mean, say whatever you want about Leia's force sensitivity or anything like that. She's not going to get away from a Grand Inquisitor, and that's exactly what happens.
I want to be Grand Inquisitor at this point.
Well, yes, true. An Inquisitor. And then that's exactly what happens. So Tala goes and basically saves Ben Kenobi. Like I don't think Ben was going to survive that.
No shot. No, to be fair, I think Vader would have let him survive and then continued to torture him for as long as he stayed alive for, because that's what it looked like was happening. Mm-hmm. You've only begun to suffer, Wanakin.
Wanakin. I'm sorry, Joe, but this ain't no Wanakin here. This is Vader.
A little bit of Wanakin in there.
I am what you made me. That was a very good line.
It was. Anyway. I'll give him that much. Good job, James Earl Jones, not Hayden Christensen.
Wow. So anyway, Leia is captured by Reva and brought to prison. Episode 3. That's out. That's how it ends.
Hello. This is the Duck. If you are hearing this message, know that I am safe. But I had to get out of Tatooine. I had to run. The Inquisitors were on their way. This is my review of Episode 3. In Episode 3, we get to see Vader do something insane. Show no remorse. Show anger. All of the evil things that are on the dark side of the Force. He did all of them. Choked people. Dragged people. It was terrible. It was crazy. We saw anger. Things that we didn't see Vader do. ever. The amount of anger was just, wow.
So, part 4, having escaped Vader on Mapuzo, Kenobi and Tala arrive at a Path facility on Jabim.
Barely escaped Vader.
Yes, they barely. Meanwhile, Leia, who is now being interrogated for details on the Path by Reva.
Ooh, quick break in here.
Yeah,
Kylo Ren-esque interrogation.
Yeah,
and she straight up raised it, like, she's all, you're not gonna dig in my head. I got you.
Yeah,
Force sensitive.
She's strong.
Yeah, force powerful, not just sensitive.
She doesn't even know it. But yeah, I mean, those interrogation scenes are sprinkled throughout the whole episode. Just like not really breaking Leia. Like, Leia's a strong-willed child, and she's obviously force sensitive. She's like, those Jedi mind tricks don't work on me, you know. that type of thing.
Kind of like that, yes.
Yeah. So
hopefully better.
Yeah. But anyway, so Obi-Wan's like, hey, I need to go save her and stuff like that. The stronghold headquarters of the Inquisitors is where they're at. It's on Nur, which is it's an ocean planet. And so they have just like this facility that is, I don't know, miles and miles deep or whatever.
A crazy black monolith that
prison.
erupts from the surface of the water and goes down. We don't know how deep into the water.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Kenobi and Tala plan to infiltrate the fortress to rescue Leia. And they do have a decent plan. I mean, Tala still has Empire credentials.
Yeah, they sneak in using the front door.
Yeah, I mean, well, no, Tala does, not Kenobi.
Yes.
So Tala gets in there, and she opens up this hatch within the ocean for Kenobi to just come through. Why in every single movie is the person completely dry after one of these types of scenes? Just like straight up bone dry.
It's due to the technology they have. Don't you remember on Naboo, the technology when they came through and it dried all of their stuff? They were just, boom. It was like a water wicking material. They just go through this membrane and it just pulls all the water off you. Star Wars land. Tummy pokes will kill you, but water, we've got the impervious shield.
Yes. It was just wild. Like, I was just like, you should be a little wet at least.
No, it gets all the water off of you.
No, yeah.
Like magic. Space wizards.
Space wizards. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, I enjoyed this episode a lot. I'm gonna shout out Cam Hawkins, friend of the show on the Test Your Might side. He tweeted when this episode came out. He tweeted and was like, "Man, Kenobi and Leia rolled a natural 20 on stealth in this episode because they got lucky. Some of those seeds just like, they just got lucky.
That's the only thing that can explain it is, they rolled that D20, came up with the 20, freaking lucked their way through it. Because let's be real here, this is an Inquisitor, top secret Inquisitor like headquarter facility filled with stormtroopers and Inquisitors and every other bad person.
And Kenobi is literally not a Jedi anymore. Like, he knows the Force, but like I don't know how he does it. I don't know how he does it.
Once a Jedi, always a Jedi.
Yeah.
I learned to ride a bike, thus I can still ride a bike.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's way different with the Force than pedaling a bike, my friend.
Well, he ain't talking to Qui-Gon yet.
Yeah, I mean,
we'll get there.
Will we get there though? Like,
for sure next season.
A little. Dang it! I want it so bad. Anyway, that's a little foreshadowed. I guess it doesn't happen in episode 5. So sorry for the spoilers. Anyway,
no, this is a total spoiler episode.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just sit back and enjoy.
Yeah. Anyway, Kenobi's in there, and So Leia is not, she's not giving in at all. So Reva brings her to
the murder room?
Yeah, the murder room. Yeah, I mean, you're not
Straps her
wrong.
to the murder chair where she's going to freeze her and then put her on murder display in their cool little trophy gallery of dead Jedis.
Yep. So there was
horrifying.
there was all that scene, like a trophy vault of the Jedi. And even a youngling was there. Like it's a pretty messed up scene.
Preserved in see-through carbonite because it's not silver.
Yeah. But yeah, so Leia is about to get interrogated, and then Tala, her cover's blown, and she basically goes to Reva's like, "Hey, you got to come here. I need to talk to you." And then that starts one of the best scenes in all of the series so far, and that is completely dark room, and Obi-Wan is sneaking around.
That was great.
Lightsabering the stormtroopers in that room.
At first, I thought you were about to talk about Tala and Reva's talk. I'm like, how is that the best scene?
No,
like,
no,
what?
that's not the best scene.
No, that's sneaking around the dark room.
It's an okay scene.
Oh, great.
And I don't know, did you play Force Unleashed?
Oh yeah,
games? That scene is a callback to one of the scenes in Force Unleashed, because that happens in the game as well. Like, if you guys have, again,
it's one of the best Star Wars games. Force Unleashed and Force Unleashed 2.
Oh yeah, good stuff. I mean, you shouldn't be listening, but seriously, that scene was so good. Go watch it. If you, you shouldn't be listening still. Anyway,
YouTube that scene, Force Unleashed. Boom. Welcome back.
Yeah.
Hey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So honestly, not much left over. They roll a couple more nat 20s. And nobody notices another person's set of feet under Obi-Wan's robe. Like Leia's just like,
yeah, that was weird.
just like
He's
hiding.
smuggling her out underneath, like it's an invisibility cloak that's totally not invisible.
Oh, one thing we did forget is that he is kind of building that force use again, because he stops a complete.
It was a cool scene. It was a really cool scene. I'll give you that.
It was
much.
a cool scene. He stops the window from cracking, right?
And he holds back the water long enough to get them out of the thing. So yeah, not only does he stop they're in this tube right underwater because they're on a water planet. And he's holding back the force of the ocean. So if you don't know what that is, that's thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds per square inch at the depth they're at, and he's doing it with his brain.
With his brain.
And he does. He holds it off for quite a bit. He's able to hold it back as the glass is breaking, and
stormtroopers shooting at him, and he's holding it, and he's wielding his lightsaber, blocking
he's deflecting
some shots.
the bolts from the blasters.
Yeah, it was cool.
It was a great scene.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So yeah, they end up. Episode does not end. They end up getting off.
Almost there.
A couple fighters from the path come and help out, and they end up escaping. One of the rebellion does die, unfortunately, because Reva has this cool, powerful scene where she throws a bomb, basically, or just something really heavy with the Force. I'm
gonna assume that it was some sort of explosive because
maybe.
it blows up.
Yeah, it done blowed him up, and that was really cool to kind of see her power. And Vader is pissed.
He was a little upset, mildly, maybe, because honestly, he's basically pure evil anyway. So he could have been barely an inconvenience type of upset, and he was gonna murder Reva because she failed, and she did ish.
Yeah, she did ish. She does convince Vader that she's still on his side by revealing that Reva actually planted a tracker in Leia's companion droid Lola, who's Side note, Lola's been lovely. I mean, just another awesome droid added to the Star Wars family.
A great companion droid, yes, to rival R2D2 and little Ballbot, whatever the new one's name, BB-8. I know his name, but like Ballbot's better.
Ballbot.
Yeah. Lola.
Oh my goodness.
Lola's got a tracker. Lola. Lola.
So yeah, that's literally how the episode ends. It just shows Lola with a red light instead of a blue light. Wink, wink. Tracker, Sith, red.
Apparently, yeah, red is bad.
Guys.
Even though the Rebellion shoot red and the Empire shoots green, which is
They do?
Yeah, in the originals. I always thought it should have been green for good and red for bad, but it was different. Mm-hmm. You know, it is what it is.
This is my review of episode 4. We saw a jailbreak. Getting Leia from the Inquisitors, Obi-Wan risking everything, and then force controlling water and stopping it. That is so difficult for a Jedi to do. Amazing.
Next episode.
All right. Part 5. So this will catch us up here as you're listening. So part 5 was this past week's episode, and yes, Joe, I agree. This was a very good one.
Redemptive in my eyes, and that's a big deal.
What do you mean redemptive?
Okay, listeners and Mike, you know how I feel about Hayden Christensen's portrayal of Anakin Skywalker, and I hate it. I loathe his performance. I think it's abhorrent. Big words there, all worth it. In this episode, he gets to redeem himself. We get to see the Anakin who's not a whiny little something or another, but a true representation of what he should have been the whole time back in the prequel trilogies when they came out in the 2000s and so on. We got what I always wanted and what I always thought he could have been had George Lucas taken his grubby little hands off of the project a little bit and just let Hayden do what Hayden can do. Because I know he's a good actor. I know that. I've seen him in other things, and he's great. So yeah, he redeemed himself as Anakin Skywalker. We got to see Anakin and Obi-Wan's relationship pre-Vader. Still Padawan learning.
Yes, and Christensen does a good job. So Vader is tracking Kenobi's location to Jabim, and he's having these flashbacks of training sessions as Anakin with Kenobi. And Kenobi kind of like berates Anakin for his aggressive actions, and you just kind of see It's a good foreshadow. It's a very good foreshadow for what the end of the episode is going to be, because Anakin's aggression and his need for the need to be on top shows his blind spots. And that's how ultimately, although Vader is completely more powerful than Kenobi still gets away at the end, because Kenobi is much more wise, doesn't act on aggression, and uses trickery, to help with that as well. So
straight up deceitfulness. He's just wise. He tricks Reva bad.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
dude, that was downright like not an okay thing he did, but like. How good, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So let's get into that actually. So, the Empire arrives to besiege the facility and deactivates the escape doors. And the way that they do that is Reva activates
Lola.
Yeah. Reva activates Lola to go and basically take out a fuse. And they don't know how to fix it, so they can't leave.
Can't get the doors open. Can't fly the ships out. They're stuck.
Yeah, and like again, you notice these plot holes and stuff. Like, why didn't Vader just go right away? Like he's easily the strongest. Like,
absolutely, but he doesn't want to put himself out there.
I know, but there's just no way that Kenobi or anybody gets away if Vader just goes right away.
Maybe.
Maybe. But obviously, building the story, and I still loved it. This episode was fire.
He has to let Reva try, and he has to let her fail so that there's like a good reason, right?
Yeah.
I feel like that's what that was. And like he needs to at this point, especially with all that we've had from Reva, like we need to see what she's capable of after that cool force throw and blowing up the ship, and then the wielding of the lightsaber, the not so cool parkour. Like we need to see what else she can do. Can she handle Kenobi? Then he doesn't have to get his hands dirty. He can just sit back and then torture him some more once he's captured.
Yeah, exactly. So to stall for time, Kenobi negotiates with Reva and deduces that she knows Vader's true identity as she witnessed his massacre at the Jedi Temple.
Super called this, by the way, immediately in episode 1.
Yeah, I
mean, part 1.
The internet did, really, to be honest. I mean, like there was a little black girl, you know, as one of the younglings, and it just fit with the story. So Reva was there the night of Order 66. She saw Anakin destroying and killing younglings, and she survived. They basically said that she hid
she described it so well.
Yeah, she hid among the bodies.
She laid among the bodies of her friends and family and felt them go cold. That's what she said. I laid among my friends and family and felt their bodies go cold. She is hurt by this man. And she's upset that Obi-Wan wasn't there. She calls him out for it, right? Like that's the big thing. That's this whole like negotiation stall for time is Obi-Wan realizing that she was one of the younglings and us understanding as the audience why she hates him so much, because she loathes this man, right? She loathes Obi-Wan. She blames him for creating Anakin and allowing him to do this stuff. Where was he?
Yeah.
Where were you when he was doing all this? She calls him out.
Yeah, which sort of serves as a dual purpose, like because it come to find out that Obi-Wan is pretty handedly like convinces Reva pretty quickly as well that, you know, she also kind of wants to screw over Darth Vader. Like she knows that he's Anakin. Like,
that was her goal the whole time, I feel like.
Yeah, like that, but also to like confront Kenobi as well. Like I don't know if she wanted to stick to being a Jedi and she was just infiltrating the Sith side, but like
nah.
But I still think it was like she you know, it's kind of like a callback to, you know, what Yoda said in the original or in the prequel trilogy, you know, like anger leads to pain, pain leads to the dark side, you know, and like she's kind of on the path to the dark side, but she also doesn't want to be on the dark side. I think she just wants to be kind of like in the middle. She doesn't like either of them, to be honest. But you know, there's only one way to really take out Vader, and that is infiltration. I mean, really. And I mean, that's kind of what Luke does in Return of the Jedi. He infiltrates Vader's mind and convinces him. Yeah, he gets close and convinces him that, you know, hey, I'm your son. Let's start this Jedi thing again, you know, and bam, happens.
Electric down a chute.
Right?
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah, spoilers for Return of the Jedi.
If you haven't seen that one, get out of here. You're in the wrong place. Stop listening.
Yeah,
go away.
I don't know what you're doing. But yeah, just like, you know, Reva still is a force to be reckoned with. I think she is very powerful. She knows her stuff. It's quite, she's almost a parallel to Anakin. She's been trained in both the light side and the dark side. You know, the light side, not to the extent that Anakin was, for sure. But
yeah, definitely not.
But still, a really, really cool character. I love how she's written. And again, as you said, I think she just knocked it out of the park with her like facial expressions and her acting in that moment where she's talking to Kenobi through the door. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
She just nails it.
I think she's a wonderful actress. I think that so far this series, like she against Ewan McGregor has been like the best duo. Although I do have a soft spot for Leia because I think that
she's done well too.
Yes, the kid actress is just unbelievably good. But yeah, Reva, she carries it when she's on screen. Like when she's there, at least for me, my opinion here. But I think she could carry a show. If they were to want to do something like that, I don't have any doubt that she would be able to carry that show.
I would watch the heck out of a Reva show. For sure. Anyway, so Kenobi just like in his usual General Kenobi way, he thinks ahead. He thinks like his enemy. He understands that Vader is there for him. Not really for anybody else. Vader's there for him. So he basically gives up. He gives himself over to the Empire. He is kneeling before Reva. Reva's talking to him, and he convinces her to go against Vader. And then like that is just
I didn't take it that way, right? So I think that
really
and like this is just me, but like I took it as him, like, yes, it was a sacrifice of himself to kind of get caught like that and then be able to have her ear and bend her ear. I don't think he had to convince her to go after Vader. I feel like that Vader was her target from the beginning, from the moment that he killed her friends all those years ago. I think that he was always the main goal. I think that on that road to that goal was Obi-Wan. And I think once she got him, or once she felt that she had achieved that goal and, he was in her grasp, I think it was easy for him to then point, right? Okay, well, you got me. Like, good job. You beat me. Haha. Cool. Now, like, what's next. And so not so much as to like redirect everything, but just to focus back on what her main goal was. I think that he just refocused her back on what she wanted. And that was, Anakin on a chopping block, essentially.
Yeah. So he convinces Reva to kill Vader when she delivers Kenobi to him. Meanwhile, Leia opens the doors after removing Lola's tracker. Sorry.
Got a tractor in there.
Allowing the path to escape before Vader besieges the facility. So, Joe, how epic was this scene? Like, just Vader
showing his just raw power. Awesome.
Oh my goodness, Joe. Like this, it was just so freaking cool. Just like he walks in, first of all, the kind of like the setup of it all too. Like he's just like walking through this field of dead stormtroopers and like dead rebels. I call them rebels, but they're not necessarily rebels at this point. You get what I'm saying, though.
He's walking along the path.
The path. Well, yeah, sure. I mean,
the dead path.
And it's just like he gets to that point where the ship is leaving, and oh boy, Joe, like oh boy.
I thought it was great. Although there was a little like I have to rewatch it, but there might have been a goof on the filming. But yes. When that ship flies away, takes off, and like thrusters go, right? You think this thing's just gonna bolt and light speed away. And Vader's like, nah, not today. And just grabs it. Just force, got you. You're stuck. I'm gonna hold you in place. You can't get away. Thrusters max, yeah, whatever. No, I can hold on to that. That's no biggie. I got that. Like, and it didn't look like it was an effort for him. It didn't look like he was struggling. It just looked like he was holding it in place. Just like, cool, like, got you, like, cool, and we're gonna bring it back down now. And then he brings it back down with some force, pun intended, and then rips the thing apart, like just starts ripping giant chunks out of the ship like it's paper mache, like it's a tissue paper, whatever other weak object you want to compare it to. He shreds the dang thing.
Man, it was just so awesome to see, just like you you haven't really seen his force powers the way that you saw it there. Like, you just haven't. I know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it might be Force Unleashed again, where I think you see him take down a ship. But that's in video games. Like, you've seen him choke people and just lift them up and just like, and you've seen him just completely decimate people with the lightsaber. But man, this was something special. Like, I really do. I like this. This is some of the best Star Wars I've ever seen. Like,
it was a literal show of force, right? We needed to see how powerful he was. We've seen other force wielders use their force and show kind of what they can do, right? We've seen Yoda do it in several occasions in several different, generations of Star Wars. We saw Dooku do it. We saw Palpatine do it. We've seen Kylo Ren do it. We've seen Rey do it. We've seen all of these other people do it in kind of the history of Star Wars and future, technically there. But yeah, we've never really seen Vader use the Force in a way that wasn't just as a choke. Like, it's almost always been Force choking, or like a little bit of like the like mind melding, wielding, or Anakin using Force pushes and stuff like that. Just mild things. And this is the first time on screen that we're getting this major show of, hey, here's a little bit of what I can do. And then following that, we get another show, right? We've got this massive, like, I can hold back a ship that can thrust out of the atmosphere of a planet, which, hundreds of thousands of pounds of force. And then that's a show of strength, right? And then we have a show of kind of finesse, what he can do with it in his like encounter with Reva.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, so let's talk about what happened. So what happens is that he gets down the ship, and lo and behold, that was a decoy ship, actually. And so behind that ship, there is the actual vessel that everybody in the path is leaving from. And so they do escape Vader. And here is where Reva actually confronts Vader. And he doesn't have a lightsaber, but he handily defeats Reva.
Effortlessly. He doesn't have to try.
And as you said, like, you saw his force power with taking down the ship. And you are completely right. And like, I didn't even
finessed, bruh.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't put these words to my thoughts, but you're totally right. Is that you see his finesse. Like, Reva takes a swing, he stops it with the Force. Reva takes a back swing because she knows that she's caught there. He stops it with the Force. Like, this is one of the best Vader scenes in all of Star Wars.
Yes,
like,
he counters, he parries. He doesn't really attack, right? He counters and parries everything. He counter, parry, block. That's what he does the whole time. Every single one of her swings, every single one of her attempts, all of them. He knows what she's gonna do. He understands how she's gonna attack, why she's gonna, why she's there. He understands already, which we get a little bit more information on. But at every single turn, he's already there, right? He's there waiting and ready. So he's like, okay, cool. You're gonna swing low, gotcha. You're gonna come high, cool, gotcha. You're gonna try the double saber thing, yep, saw that coming. Oh, you're gonna try the spin move? Haha. I know all about it. I design these things. I'm the best, right? Yeah. We get that picture of, I know what I'm doing here. I'm the biggest and the baddest for a reason. And then he finesses her like it's nothing. He's like, cool, gotcha. And then just hands it to her, right? On the silver platter. Okay. And now I'm going to show you what I can do.
Yeah.
And he does.
Yeah, oh man, like, she has a dual lightsaber that spins, obviously, because all the Inquisitors have that. He cuts it in half, and he gives her a chance. Like, he gives her one of the lightsabers. Throws it back. Here, I got one, you got one. Just goes toe-to-toe with one lightsaber, defeats her, has two lightsabers in hand. Now, Joe, I literally thought he was going to do the Count Dooku thing.
So did I.
I 100% thought he was gonna just go just like Count Dooku her head, to be honest, but she doesn't. He doesn't. Sorry, he just tummy pokes her.
Tummy poke again. That's right.
Because they still need Reva for another series or maybe episode 6. You never know.
A series, a season, something. Yeah. And then we learned that tummy pokes aren't so deadly. Qui-Gon comes back. Wait, no, that wasn't him.
No, the Grand Inquisitor actually comes back, and it was
the original.
The original Grand Inquisitor. And Joe, as you kind of already alluded to, this was all Vader's plan all along. He kind of knew that she, he knew that she was a youngling. He knew kind of like where her head was at in all this, and he wanted to see how faithful she would be to the dark side. Turns out, probably pretty faithful to the dark side, but not so faithful to him.
This is my review of episode 5, which felt like a climax of the story already. Something that felt like it was just the ending, the movie quality ending to this saga. But we still have another episode coming. And this show just keeps rolling. This train is moving, and it is amazing. But again, if you can hear this, just know that I am okay. I just had to get away. The Inquisitors are on my tail again. I'll see you soon. Have a nice day. And may the Force be with you all.
Yep. So it basically ends with Reva finding Bail Organa's message on Kenobi's transmitter.
On the tractor, gotcha.
Yeah, the tractor. Revealing that there is also a son, Luke.
And his location.
And his location on Tatooine. Nobody knows this but Reva. And
Obi-Wan.
And Obi-Wan, obviously. Yeah. Okay.
There's a few people.
I meant like outside of the people that do know. Gosh.
Oh yeah, those people. Yeah. Outside of those people, nobody else knew except for now Reva. What will happen here? I hope to find out in season 2.
Stay tuned. So yeah, we'll see how kind of like. I mean, it's clear we're going back to Tatooine for episode 6. So
possibly not.
Maybe, who knows?
Maybe
we'll see what happens.
Maybe he goes and picks up Owen and Luke and brings them back to Alderaan, and we get off Tatooine just for you, Mike.
Just for me.
I'll set it up that way. I'm gonna go call Deborah Chow and give her a little ring. Hey, Deb, let's get away from Tatooine, okay?
Yeah.
Got enough sand. Gets everywhere. We know.
So yeah, that's basically it. Joe, final thoughts on 3, 4, and 5? Like, you excited?
I'm disagreeing with those loud people on the internet. I loved the episodes. I'm excited for more. I would love another season of this, as I've said multiple times this episode. Season 2, I want it to happen. Whether it's a spinoff, as long as it's better than Boba Fett. And I know some people are going to get a little upset about that, but if they just give me more, I'll be happy. Like I said at the very beginning of episode 1, our coverage of part 1 and 2, Space Wizards. They're my bread and butter, right? They're my jam. So I want more.
I really enjoy this. Give me more Ian McGregor.
Ewan.
I mean, Ewan
McGregor.
Ewan?
Yeah.
Ewan what? What? Give me more McGregor as
there you
Obi-Wan.
go. That'll work.
Just really enjoying the show so much. Like, kind of, just kind of brings me back to just, I understand that this is tied to the Skywalker saga. Obviously, it's legacy characters, but this is the type of stuff that just makes me so excited about Star Wars, just in general. They didn't have to, spoilers for Mandalorian season 2, they didn't have to bring Luke Skywalker back for the end of that season, but they did. What? And what happened was that they made people's hearts so happy that we got to see Luke be this force and be this Jedi that really powerful, that master type of Jedi. And here we're getting to see just more of McGregor as Obi-Wan. So
Ewan,
just stoked.
he kills it.
Ewan, he does. So yeah.
I'm excited for more.
Very, very. So, listeners, thank you so much for sticking with us as we reviewed episode 3, 4, and 5. Let us know what you thought about these episodes down in the comment section below, or talk to us on Twitter. Hit us up at What the Fun Pod on Twitter or Facebook. And if you would like to connect with us at all, you could always email us at whatthefunpodcast@gmail.com. For Joe, where you could find him on Twitter at JoeBorder21.
You won't find me there.
I mean,
I'll be there if you direct message me. I will interact with you
if you need him.
But I won't post anything.
No. You could also find me at Stay at Home Gamer, where the O in home is a 0 on Twitter. This has been our Obi-Wan 3, 4, and 5 review. Stay tuned for a little bit more Star Wars content, as well as our finale review coming up this next week. Again, with YouTube, we'll have a playlist down there. Speaking of YouTube, go in and subscribe. Once again, for Joe, my name is Mike, and we'll catch you guys later. Bye.
Bye, everyone.